I'm saying, are you crystal clear on your first product? Are you delivering your first product the way that it needs to be delivered? Do you have a process that supports that? And are you succeeding? Don't try to add in another product because your other product isn't working, meaning it's not generating the revenue. The public doesn't seem to be buying it.
Hello and welcome to the Remarkable CEO Podcast, a show dedicated to chiropractors who want to transform their job into a business, so that they can have a remarkable practice as part of a remarkable life, not instead of one. With your hosts, Dr. Pete Camiolo and Dr. Stephen Franson.
Welcome back to another episode of the Remarkable CEO Podcast. I'm Dr. Pete Camiolo.
And I'm Dr. Stephen Franson.
And hey, if you're a new listener, a new podcast person who's following our podcast, welcome. Welcome to the family. We're grateful to have you. Thanks for tuning in today. And again, if this is your first podcast episode that you're consuming, hey, we're in the middle of a series right now. So you might want to go back and listen to the first 2 episodes of this series about, really, it's honestly about building that remarkable business. And we're doing it through the lens of what we call the board meetings. And so we did an overview series. And the previous episode of this, we went into vision and how important that is for you as the CEO. And this episode on Dr. Stephen, you're real excited about digging into this. This is going to be a powerful episode, a great conversation for us to have. It's honestly about your product and the process. So this is absolutely critical. So welcome to the podcast. And hey, if this is something that you find valuable listening to this podcast and you're a regular listener, hey, help us spread the message. We'd love if you could like this, leave us a review, even share this. Pick one person that you could send this podcast to today and just shoot it to them in your messenger, Instagram or Facebook Messenger. Just shoot them the link and say, hey, you should listen to this. If you find it valuable and you think it'll be valuable for them, we'd love for you to do that and love to help us spread the message, because what we see it on a daily basis by working with so many of you. We have visibility into hundreds of chiropractic practices, really thousands around the world. And what we have is that information, that data, that sense, and that's what we bring to this podcast. So we actually feel like the conversations that we're having with each other are really having with you are the same conversations that we're having right now. So we want these to be relevant, valuable discussions and conversations. If you have any topics as well that you'd love to hear more about, say, hey, Doc, we'd love to hear about whatever that subject may be. We feel like we're pretty thorough, but if you have a specific topic, hey, shoot Dr. Franson or myself a message on either Facebook or Instagram, or shoot us an email if you have our emails. We'd love to hear about that. We'd love to hear what you want to hear us unpack more. Dr. Stephen, I know that we love, just taking topics and going deeper and drilling down. And that's really the goal of this series, is to say, hey, do it. We could have just said, hey, do a board meeting every quarter with your team, talk about your business, make sure everybody's on the same page and be done with it. We could have done that, but we're not. We're actually slowing this thing way down. We're saying the reason why most businesses don't become remarkable, the reason why most people get stuck in build and they never truly scale, the reason why most owners feel like a slave to their practice, the reason why, and you fill in the blank, is because we haven't really embraced all these very specific elements of running a remarkable business and really transforming that practice into a business, turning that job into a business, creating the transformation, the ascension for you and for everybody on your team. That's why we're doing this. So, Dr. Stephen, as we have been discussing in this series, the board meetings are a quarterly pulse. It's a quarterly rhythm where, as a team, an entire team, we come together at a set time and date for a very specific purpose. And one of the purposes of the board meetings is to revisit, review, and get crystal clear on what is our product and what is our process.
Man, I love chiropractic. We are in the business of saving lives. And when business is good, everybody wins. I never get tired of saying that because I get to talk about 2 out of 3 of my favorite things. And so the idea that we can talk about chiropractic and we actually can do chiropractic as a business, what a blessing that is. Just extraordinary. I love all 4 legs of the stool of a remarkable practice. I love the art. I love the science. I love the philosophy. I love the business acumen. And I love that we get to have this business conversation today, because that's exactly what this is, right? So these board meetings, as you said, Dr. Pete, they frame out success, right? For your next quarter, your next year, and ultimately for you and your team. So I love that we've invited you to share this podcast with other chiropractors to help them help more people, right? So thank you for helping us serve our mission that way. And I'm also going to encourage, in fact, insist that you share this series with your team. So share it internally with your team, right? So let us do the heavy lifting around these board meetings so they don't feel like this is your crazy idea, right? Let us teach your team. This is what board meetings are supposed to accomplish. This is what they look like. This is how you execute them, etc. Let us do that lift. So just follow along with the series and implement, right? So we wish we could do it for you. We can't, but we're excited to come alongside you and show you how, right? So we're going to take something that's really hard to do. We can't make it easy, but we can make it easier. Today, we're going to talk about remarkable product and process, right? So I promised a business conversation. So let's talk about business. Listen, the purpose of a business is to add value to another by solving a problem that they're willing to pay you to solve for them, right? So what is the value that you add to your community? That's where this conversation has to start. What is your product? What is your remarkable product? You have to know, and your team has to know, so you can convey it to your community. What is the value you deliver into your community, right? So the purpose of your business is to solve a problem. What is that problem, right? So when you look at the remarkable practice, I can give you an example, right? But ultimately, your product is what is for sale here in this practice, right? So what is for sale here? What am I buying? What am I getting? There's going to be a value exchange here. We're going to exchange time, energy, focus, and or money. And in the chiropractic practice, guess what? It's all of the above. People have to give you their time and their energy and their focus and their money. Wow, that's a heavy lift in the mind of an economist, right? So there better be a lot on the opposite side of that scale that I feel like the juice is worth the squeeze here. I'm going to make a big value investment. What's the value I'm going to get back? You better be able to answer that question, Doc, for many reasons. One of them, and probably in this order, you've got to be able to convey that to the community in your marketing message, in your marketing promise, right? So it's like, what are you conveying to your community? What are you telling your community? Why should they come in and see you? Okay. So what is the value that I'm going to get in exchange for my time, energy, focus, and money? That's the remarkable product. That's what's for sale here. An example of this may be lifetime family wellness. That was when you look at France and Family Chiropractic, our product was lifetime family wellness, right? So that implies not just a better health outcome, but a better health trajectory, a better experience for families throughout their life. It wasn't just about landing in a better place. It was about having a healthier and better journey for the entire family, right? So what's for sale in your practice? What is the value that you add into your community? That's your remarkable product. Well, your remarkable process is how do you deliver that value, right? When you think about your process, your procedures, your scripting, et cetera, like this is the patient's experience. This is how we deliver the value. Now, if your product, for example, in our practice, our product is lifetime family wellness. Our process is lifetime family wellness care. Now, lifetime family wellness care is how we deliver the outcome of a better health outcome and a better experience, a better health trajectory for families. Now, our process and procedures, we delivered care across this arc of a relationship where we started with initial intensive care, and then we moved into corrective care, and then we moved into wellness care and or maintenance care, depending on the patient's goals. But that was the process. And every single step and detail of that process was laid out with such extraordinary care and such intention that if you were to read through every single step of every single part of every single process throughout the arc of a lifelong relationship with families, you would see that we knew we were in the business of saving lives. We trained like it because we were.
You know, the phrase that comes to my mind is that confusion never converts. And what we're talking about with confusion is product confusion. And that product confusion doesn't convert, then that starts at attraction. If you want to get and see your attraction increase and grow your business this year and beyond, get crystal clear on what it is that your product is. The temptation that happens to us as CEOs is we want to make more money. So we try to add things to our products. We try to bring in new products. We try to do a lot of things like that. And those aren't necessarily wrong. I'm not saying they are. I'm saying, are you crystal clear on your first product? Are you delivering your first product the way that it needs to be delivered? Do you have a process that supports that? And are you succeeding? Don't try to add in another product because your other product isn't working, meaning it's not generating the revenue. The public doesn't seem to be buying it. In fact, Stephen, you and I would both say, running, lifetime family wellness practices and doing it on a cash practice basis, that, we had to deliver value. Why would somebody put their hand in their pocket and stroke you a check and me a check every year so that they could take time out of their schedule in their life to come in and get this thing? Well, they have to have real clarity on, like you said, the 4 of their resources that they're investing in you, their limited resources of time, energy, focus, and money that they were investing, and they are investing into themselves, and they're doing it through the vehicle of your practice because they see the value and what that outcome creates for them and their family, short-term and long-term, been clearly communicated to them. And one of the things that can happen is with the remarkable product is your product becomes less remarkable and you start adding in more products. And what happens is you create more confusion and it's more complexity. And what happens is you actually are creating all this interference into your potential. I know I'm hitting on something here, Dr. Stephen, because I feel like what you were talking about there is so important to nail. You presented it with such great clarity. What you just said was, at Friends and Family Chiropractic, this was our product. Period. End of sentence. Done. It is lifetime family wellness care. Period. And here's our process. Well, lifetime family wellness care is our process. Lifetime family wellness is our product. That's what it was. You have clarity, crystal clarity. How amazing is that? What an accelerant that clarity is. So clarity is the greatest accelerant. Accelerant for what? For attraction, for conversion, for retention, for your team. But confusion doesn't convert. And confusion happens sometimes in us because we're confused about our product. We're not crystal. We don't have full ownership of it. Our team isn't fully understanding why we do what we're doing and how we're doing what we're doing. And I think Dr. Pete is interested in this newfangled thing. So he's bringing this in. I'm not really sure what it is, but we're doing it. I'm bringing this up because I believe, as a CEO talking to CEOs, this can become an issue. And I'm simply exposing it because the first thing about having a remarkable product is you as a business having crystal clarity. And guess what? If you're going to bring in some new product offerings in your practice that are going to add to you creating the outcomes that you desire for your patients, that's aligned with your vision, your values, and the behaviors, then this is a perfect time for you to introduce it, to get your team's eyes on it, ears on it, get some chime in, get some buy-in. This is your moment. This is your moment to present and represent our product here of lifetime family wellness. Guys, why do we do what we do? Let me remind you what our product is. It's lifetime family wellness. How are we doing with people buying that product from us? Well, Dr. Pete, we're doing good at people starting, but people don't seem to be sticking around. So are they buying this product? They're not. They must be buying something else. Why are they buying something else? Well, guess what? Maybe we haven't gotten the clarity that we need in our processes to be able to deliver this. Maybe we haven't got the systems in place that enables us to really deliver this lifetime wellness care. So clarity around the product so that there is no confusion starts with you, starts with your team, having crystal clarity on what is the product that we have here. Why does our practice exist? What are we here to do? What can we be best in the world at? This is critical to get clear here. And part of the board meeting rhythms is you take time to represent our product, to assess how we're doing with delivering the product, to ask ourselves the question, how can we deliver this product even better? How can we capture more value in exchange for the value that people are investing in their health? This is a moment in the board meeting to slow it down and say, let's look at our product. Let's look at our process. Let's get crystal clear, because confusion never converts. Here's a few words from our newest podcast sponsors. We're grateful for their support of the show.
Chiro Matchmakers will help you find the right person for the job. If you're looking to hire the ideal chiropractic assistant, Chiro Matchmakers will help you find the specific person missing from your team so that you can get back to using your talents to serve more people. Or if you're looking to hire the ideal associate doctor, CMM can help. Chiro Matchmakers helps chiropractors like you find the ideal associate doctor to unlock your practice potential and get you the freedom that you desire. To learn more, go to chiromatchmakers.com.
We should all agree that right now, more than ever, online presence, brand positioning, and reputation are the most influential factors for driving new patients into our practices. That's why we are proud to partner with Perfect Patients, who have since 2005 been a leader in our chiropractic industry, serving thousands of chiropractors worldwide. With a team of more than 70 marketing professionals, anything that can be done online to grow your practice is included with their digital marketing plans. Perfect Patients uses their proven 5 factors of digital marketing success model, and their service includes design and development of high-converting websites, SEO, PPC, reputation management, review generation, email marketing, and social media management. To learn more, go to perfectpatients.com. That's perfectpatients.com. And now let's jump right back into our conversation.
Yeah, how many times have we heard the premise that your attraction is a reflection of your certainty? Right? Certainty is what people pick up on, right? And it's certainty around exactly what is the value that you deliver and that you'll be able to deliver it. Conviction is the next step. Conversion is a reflection of your conviction. And it's the conviction that this is what you need to do to get what you want. And you own your recommendations of care and you have conviction around the how, right? But retention is a reflection of your clarity as the leader, your team's clarity, and your patient's clarity as the consumer. Clarity around exactly how do I consume this thing called chiropractic care. So it's so critical that you as the leader have crystal clear, you have total clarity around your process. You have to understand that for you to be able to convey to your team exactly how you deliver the value, you have to have that clarity first, right? So I'm hoping that this exercise is going to maybe stretch you a bit, maybe make you feel a bit uncomfortable because, the next step is to get your team to the point where they have total clarity around your product and process, which is how you deliver the value. And that way we can convey that into our patient base and then eventually out into the community, because the patient base needs to know exactly what does it mean to be a patient here. I mean, let's think about it. If your product is lifetime family wellness, well, now we've got sort of this vague product inside of a nebulous industry. It's like people don't even understand chiropractic, and you start throwing around a very vague concept of like lifetime family wellness care. It's like, okay, so what does that mean? What does that look like? You can imagine your team, if they have that vagueness, if they have that lack of clarity, how could they possibly guide and lead your team, your patients, to the better health outcomes, the better health trajectory, the better health experience if they don't have total clarity? So ultimately, guys, remarkable product and process is a vital exercise to visit every quarter at the board meetings. Here's the product that is for sale here in this practice. This is the problem that we solve. This perspective has to be from a consumer perspective. Okay, so we have to make sure we know that the purpose of a business is to add value by solving a problem for somebody who's willing to pay for it, right? So what problem does your community think they have? They have to be aware they have a problem. You have to be able to imagine and visualize what is the potential consumer, which we call the seeker. What conversation are they having in their head? What questions are they asking? You have to meet the market where they're at. Otherwise, you won't even be in the conversation. You'll be totally irrelevant. You've got to be able to communicate to a person. This is a marketing conversation now, that you can meet their needs. You can solve their problems. You can help them get the outcomes that they're looking for. That's the product conversation. That's the communication piece of this, right? You have to have total clarity around that so that you're attracting people into the practice who are looking for a solution, and there is no product confusion when they do start in the practice. That's your conversion process. So we go from attraction to conversion. Now we have people starting care with clarity around exactly what they need to do to get what they want. Well, ultimately, it's the clarity around the process and the value that people get by staying under regular chiropractic care that's going to drive their retention, right? So the clarity is what delivers or derives the retention element of it. So your team has got to have that clarity so they can convey it to the team. So Dr. Pete, if we pull way back here and we take this 30,000 foot view of our process, we look at me like, okay, so lifetime family wellness care, that's like 30,000 feet. It's like over the lifetime, the arc of that relationship. We've got to go through this zoom in exercise with our team. You're going to say, okay, so we get to zoom in. You got to say, okay, so let's go first 4 years. What does that look like? And then we zoom in and we say, what about the first 4 months? What's that look like? Then we zoom in the first 4 weeks. We zoom in the first 4 days. We want to get it all the way down. So we go 4 years, 4 months, 4 weeks, 4 days. We're zooming in. And you know what? The exercise is, it's a board meeting. You get up to the whiteboard. I've done this with so many teams. And I can tell you what, when I ask, who could tell me what your day one process looks like? Team members, doctors, everybody's raising their hand. I'll tell you exactly what we do, right? Very good. They'll start going, we give a new patient tour and they've filled out their paperwork. We start with a meet and greet and then a pre-consultation, then a consultation, and boom, 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 boom. They know every single detail. They know where it happens in the clinic, what they say, how long it takes, who does what, right? Perfect clarity and detail. And then I'm like, how about day 2? Who could tell me? And then somebody, ooh, me, I'll tell you, right? And same thing, boom, 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 boom. They nail all the process procedures. They know it with such clarity and confidence. Day 3, ooh, me, right? Day 4, I'll do it, right? So next thing you know, I'm like, okay, how about week 4? The hands start coming down. How about month 4? Who can tell me what month 4 looks like with that kind of detail, that type of clarity and confidence, right? How about year 4? Right? Everybody's hiding under the table, hoping I'm not calling on them, right? It's like, what's it look like for a 44-year-old? How about a family of 4? How about for a 4-year-old? Who can tell me exactly what that process looks like? Dr. Pete, the goal here is that everybody on the team could grab that magic marker and say, ooh, me, I'll tell you exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, again, this goes back to one of the previous conversations we had, Dr. Stephen, which is vision. That's why whenever we're troubleshooting anything in our practice, and when you're troubleshooting anything in your business and you're lacking clarity, we got to go back to the vision. And we got to go back to the vision and what does success look like? We go back to the whiteboard, drawing it out and mapping it out. That's one of the things I love about the Remarkable Practice is that we have given you a framework, a map essentially that takes somebody through that first 4 years. And the reason why we can do that is because we've been down that road, seen what it looks like, seen how to fail, see how to succeed. Enough laps around the track, enough scar tissue to say, hey, this is what works best. Here's how to do it. Here's how you can do it. We also understand that there's a conviction that says, hey, patients that are in our practice are healthier and safer than the families that are not in our practice. That you don't get sick, you do sick. That the longer you're sick, the sicker you'll be, the longer you're healthier you'll be. This means something. And so we give you a path to be able to achieve that. We don't just say those things and say, good luck. I have an expectation that you're staying. I get surprised if you don't. Because we have a plan for you. We have a path, and we've communicated that effectively from day 0. There has been an intention behind every word that we say and every step of the journey from day 0 all the way through 4 years. Everything is leading ultimately to that. And if it's not, then we have to go in there and we have to make the adjustments. If you're looking at your process, you're saying, hey, Dr. P, we're having people drop out at 10 visits, 20 visits, at 30 visits. They're signing up, they're coming to the end of their initial plan, but then they get in the second plan and they're dropping out after 2 months, after 3 months of the corrective. Or they're getting to the end of the corrective and they're stopping after corrective. They're not moving on to the next. They're not moving into wellness. Or they're going into wellness, but then they're stopping and they're dropping into maintenance. I want more people into wellness. We're going into maintenance, but then they're dropping into maintenance. They're disappearing. So where is the breakdown in the journey? Where is the breakdown in the process? And this is where we can start. If we don't have data, if you don't have stats, you won't know that. But you can, in this moment, in the team board meeting with your team, you can actually look at the whole landscape of the whole client journey and look at it and look at those vital statistics and say, guys, look at this. There are points in the client journey over these 4 years. You see these red areas. These are red areas, these heat areas. This is where we're dropping. This is where people are falling out. So then we can go and intelligently ask ourselves questions, says, what's happening here? Why is that happening there? We can start looking at our process saying, guys, because this is our product, we have conviction about this is our product. So I'm not okay with the process the way that it's going because it's not helping us deliver the product that we committed to this community to deliver. And that's out of integrity. That's out of integrity. And I have to go home and I have to sleep at night and say, you know what? We are committed to delivering this product in integrity. And look, we're not successfully doing that. So that's when you together as a team huddle up and you come together and says, guys, are we committed to doing this? Is everybody ready? Are we good? Can we put our resources of our time, energy, and our focus together to do this, to win? Bring everybody up to the 30,000 feet in your board meetings each and every time. This is what we're creating, and work your way all the way down into the day in and day out process. Like you said, Dr. Stephen, it's not uncommon for a team member to know like the details of a few days, but to see that whole journey is so important. I find that what moves me, and oftentimes what moves my team, is when they see like, where's John? Start bringing up stories of names of folks. Hey, remember these people? Remember this?
Whatever happened to Mike?
Where are these people?
Yeah.
Where are they? And all of a sudden the team is like, hey, where did they go? It becomes real when you start putting names and stories in there, and you're like, you know what? Our product and our process, there's a disconnection. And you know what? It's lives. It's real people. It's real stories. And then it becomes real. And then we're like, you know what? We got to do a better job. We can do better than this. Everybody see that? And then we go to work, guys. And this is when it becomes meaningful because you connected it back to a story. It's to a life. And it matters. It matters a lot.
Pete, we're in the retention business, right? So retention drives everything we want, right? So better results for the patient. It drives all the referrals that we want. It drives, all of the retention, drives the revenues, right? So it's like all of our favorite R's. So we want to make sure that they get this right. Let's help them do this. I'm inspired. Let's give away an outline so that they can see it. Like, so I really want them to get this right. They don't have to adopt, exactly how we do it, but I want them to start somewhere because I remember trying to create this myself and saying, "Ooh, this is a bit of a daunting task. There's a lot of detail here, etc." So you could just copy it and use it directly. We hope you do. Maybe it'll inspire you to create your own. So we're going to put a PDF here to give you an example of what something like this, what it would look like. But we're going to give it to you on one condition, in that if you do reach out and download this, that you use it, that you implement it, that you get your team together and you actually put this thing on the ground, right? So you don't just need one more thing to print out and staple together and sit on your desk, right? Bring this to the office, show it to your team and be like, man, we need to get more clarity around our process. Let's have a conversation around our product. What is our product here? And then how do we deliver it? It's our process. We need to create a remarkable process. We need to be able to say with clarity, we need to be able to say, this is what lifetime family wellness care looks like here in this practice. This is how we deliver it. This is what our best patients do that get the best outcomes and the best results. This is what that looks like. This is how you consume this value, right? This is how we do it here. This is what the first four years looks like in the practice, the arc of that relationship through initial intensive care, through corrective care, into wellness or maintenance care. This is what the first 4 months look like that tee up that lifetime relationship, right? This is what the first 4 weeks looks like. This is what the first 4 days look like. Day 4, day 3, day 2, day 1. This is what it looks like for a 44-year-old. This is what it looks like for a family of 4. This is what it looks like for a 4-year-old. To be able to get your team to the point where they can, with confidence and certainty, tell you that this is what our remarkable process looks like. That's when you're going to arrive at the clarity that helps a person get beyond why should I start chiropractic care to why should I stay under chiropractic care? Because ultimately your retention is a reflection of your clarity as a leader, your team's clarity, and your patient's clarity. Specifically, clarity around the value of regular chiropractic care.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Remarkable CEO Podcast. Remember, what the world needs now is chiropractic, and what chiropractic needs now is more successful chiropractors. If you like this podcast, please subscribe, share with a friend, and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with us personally, direct message us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Now go and be remarkable.